Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. We just took a look into Dustin Johnson's golf bag for 2021, some of the new clubs he has added in the TaylorMade lineup, including some of the new TaylorMade Sim 2 drivers and fairway woods. But now we are taking a look at the golf bag of Collin Morikawa and all of the clubs he is currently using, some of the new additions to his bag in 2021, which might be worth giving a test for yourself once these clubs come out very, very soon. So let's dive straight in and take a look at Collin Morikawa's golf bag. Now, what's very, very interesting about this is that it's very different to Dustin's golf bag. If you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend checking it out. It's very interesting to see some of the changes he's made and possibly why those could be. Now, both of these bags feature some of the new TaylorMade Sim 2 fairway woods and drivers as well, and we have done videos on those, so if you want more specific information about those clubs, go back to my channel and check out those videos. But now, let's take a look into Collin Morikawa's bag. We're going to start out with the driver and move our way through. Now, Collin starts out with the TaylorMade Sim 2 Max driver. This is the same driver that Dustin has added to his bag. Clearly, it's already proving to be a popular club amongst the tour players. But we saw in Dustin's bag, he's using a 10.5 degree driver. Collin is using a 9 degree, so significantly less loft there. And this is a trend we're going to see throughout Collin's bag. With Dustin, we saw him adding a lot of loft to some of his woods. With Collin, not so much. He then goes to the TaylorMade Sim 2 13.5 degree rocket 3-wood. I would not be able to get that club off the ground. I hit a low ball flight anyway with not much spin on it. That club would be horrendous for me to try and hit. Now this is very, very different in comparison to Dustin Johnson, who added the TaylorMade Sim 2 3-wood, but he added the HL version, which is the high launch in a 16.5 degree head. Collin's obviously gone the other way. It's very interesting to compare these two because they both hit a pretty high fade and they both have pretty kind of similar-ish golf swings. So very interesting to see very different clubs at the top of their bags. Next, we move into the TaylorMade Sim Max Rescue. He has this in 19 degrees. So this is obviously, it says this is the Sim Max, so I'm assuming this is the 2020 version and not the 2021 Sim 2 version. Now, that's pretty interesting. This is actually the same 3-wood I use in my golf bag, and it is a very good club. It's been very popular with a lot of tour players. Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson have both had it in their bags before. From here, this is quite interesting, and I quite like this about Collin Morikawa's bag. He moves into the P7MC irons. That is from 4 to 6 irons. So from 4, 5, and 6, he has the TaylorMade P7MC irons, and then he has a combo set. So from 7 to pitching wedge, he has the P730 irons. These are the same irons we saw Dustin Johnson using, the P730, which we also mentioned. It's interesting to see because they're about 5 years old now, and there are a new version of the TaylorMade blades, the P7MBs, that have been released. So it's interesting to see these players choosing not to use those irons, which we did see Rory using quite a lot. So interesting that those have not been added to the bag. Next, we move into the wedges. Now this is really, really interesting. We saw Dustin Johnson using 2 wedges, and Collin Morikawa also uses just 2 wedges, but there is a significant difference. Dustin Johnson uses 52 degree and 60. Collin Morikawa is using 56 degree and 60 degree. That's quite interesting because my wedges, I use 50 degree, 54 and 58. So I have 4 degrees difference between every one of my wedges, and he does have 4 degrees difference between his 56 and his 60. But he goes from pitching wedge to 56 degree. I mean, a pitching wedge is about 45-ish degrees of loft, depending on the set. So it's pretty interesting that he goes, I mean, that's a 11 degree difference between his pitching wedge and his next wedge. So a pitching wedge for him probably goes somewhere in the region of 145 to 140, depending on conditions. A 56 degree wedge is probably only going to go about 110 yards. So he must feel very, very confident that between 145 yards and 110 yards, he can take a pitching wedge and just hit it soft, basically, knock it down. I guess that's what he does. It seems like a pretty big gap to me personally, but he's a much better player than I am, so I better not question it. Then he moves into the TaylorMade Spider FCG putter. This is the new kind of addition we saw to TaylorMade's putting lineup, where it's a mallet head design, but it's supposed to perform more like a blade, but with the forgiveness of a mallet. Kind of a little bit confusing, but proving to be effective for Collin, as he's, won his first major last year, had an amazing year, and playing some incredibly good golf. So he then moves into the TaylorMade TP5 golf ball. This is obviously slightly different to what we saw Dustin using. He uses the TaylorMade TP5X, which could be an indication why these players are adjusting their set slightly differently, with Collin going slightly lower loft. Maybe that TP5 spins a bit more, launches a bit higher for him, so he doesn't need that extra loft, or maybe the TP5X spins a bit lower for Dustin Johnson, therefore he's adding that loft. Possible reason why they could be going very, very different ways in their setups. And, it will be interesting to test out some of these products once we can get our hands on the new TaylorMade Sim 2 lineup. I think everyone's pretty excited about them. There are some really interesting products coming from all of these brands: Callaway, Titleist, TaylorMade, Cobra, everyone basically, Ping as well. So I'm very much looking forward to testing all of these products for you. I think actually PXG as well, making some really interesting stuff. So I always find it's great to look into TaylorMade or any tour players' bags and see what products are becoming popular with these tour players, maybe why that is, and test them for ourselves as well to see if it could work for us and help us improve our golf. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Many more videos coming your way very soon. So make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, guys, grip it and rip it.